Hello, I'm the Great Metaphor, and welcome to my developer Let's Play of Metatanks. This will essentially be the stand-in for a trailer, so I won't go super in-depth with all of the mechanics and thought process behind the gameplay, so just kind of an introduction. Let's just get right into it. This game is... Okay. This game is very fast-paced, so I will mostly be talking about my thoughts on the idea during these intermission screens where the game is paused, and while the game's running, I'll mostly be focusing on the gameplay. So the game starts when you start moving or when you start shooting, and you shoot stuff. It's kind of like Wii Tanks, except much simpler and much more fast-paced. And level ends when you kill all the enemies, and you need to restart when you die. This right here was actually my second level I ever... No, not the second level. The first level I ever made for this game. Made just about right as the engine was able to support it, so this is the oldest finished level. Nothing special, just a bunch of normal enemies. Oh, I didn't get the chance to say anything about this level. That's okay, there's not much to say about this level. It just serves to help introduce a few mechanics. You know, the first 10 levels are kind of slow. I should probably mention that there are 20 levels in the first episode. And there are 3 episodes in the main game, and 3 in the, for lack of a better term, post-game that I've released later. So this level releases bombs. I'm not doing a very good job of saying stuff while the game is paused like I said I would. Oh well. That's okay, this level isn't terribly exciting, it's the level designed to introduce bombs. It's also supposed to be the level that kind of tell you about the ricochet mechanic, but you can kind of ignore the tutorial for it. But that's okay, there's a better tutorial for it in the next level. Which, okay, actually stop and commentate on this level, Meta. You know what, I'm gonna do this, so I can actually stop and commentate on this. So this is our first introduction of power-ups, and this power-up makes your weapon shoot faster and makes it bounce off of one more wall. And what you're supposed to do here is shoot at the top and bottom of the screen to attack all these enemies on this side of the screen. Over here. Can you actually see my mouse? You can. Okay, good. Used to have issues with that back in the day. Anyway, as I was saying, you bounce the screen, you bounce the bullets off the screen, and then they kill these guys before they break through. This level's not terribly difficult, but at this point you're probably still learning how to play the game, so it'll be a little bit more difficult. And so it's a little bit more worth it to actually kill these guys. Plus it's faster. And it gives you more score, but I'll probably talk about the score in, like, episode 2 or something. So these enemies, they try to shoot down your bullets. They're not terribly bright about it, but you do have to put some amount of thought into it. And then, this is where they actually become challenging because they end up killing their friends, I guess. But more than that, they end up shooting at the bullets that their friends are shooting and flooding the screen with bullets trying to shoot down bullets, because they're not terribly bright about how they target things to defend themselves against. Also, all these levels have names. I haven't been reading them. These enemies right here, they were based off of the green tanks from Wii Tanks. which if you've played green tanks, you know how terrible the green tanks are because they'll bounce their bullets off of two walls and lead their shots, and they're really hard to deal with and it's terrible. And there are two enemies in this game that are based off of them, the mobile version, which you saw in that previous level, and the non-mobile version, which I think only appears in episode 2. It's been a while since I've played this game. Like, other than a few test runs, this is... I haven't played this game since around the time of its release, when I was still showing it to a lot of friends of mine. So here's the first boss. He's actually one of the more difficult bosses in the game, but... Oh, am I gonna first try it? Those big enemies, they're called chargers. They can only be damaged right after they hit a wall, but looks like I'll actually first try this level, which I don't do very often. Yeah, well, I'll talk about my complaints about this game later. After this, there's this level, which, as the name implies, if you can read it, it's a breather level. So nothing much to say here. I do apologize if the screen's a bit blurry. I think that's because I'm running this using Wine. This game does not have a Linux distribution, and I currently do not own a Windows computer, so I gotta play it using Wine. Oh, these are the missile enemies. I forgot they were introduced in episode 1. They shoot missiles, and the missiles explode, and I'm somehow missing an enemy directly in front of my face. But you've got a lot of cover. You do gotta be careful. Your own bullets can hurt you. You probably saw that, but may not have registered. Because there's a lot going on in this game. So much going on in this game that I have trouble commentating over it. But once there's one enemy left, you can just kind of spam your attacks at them. Oh, this level is one of the first complicated levels. You got these enemies, which, if they survive for too long, they'll destroy the wall behind you, and then these guys will start attacking you while you're still dealing with the ones above you. So it encourages you to go fast. And then, but if you get them fast enough, they go. Oh yeah, these things. I never explained these things. These are grates. Bullets can't go through them. Or missiles. There are some projectiles that can go through them, but I don't think you see any of those projectiles until episode 2. Okay, quick little aside from Metaphor of the Future. I lost the audio for this section somehow, but all I was talking about is how the machine gun power-up sucks. Okay, bye. Wise idea to pick this up, but I wanted to show off this game's mechanics, so I did anyway. Gotta be careful with these guys because they'll start attacking when you start shooting. And oh, why did they all go at once? That's weird. Oh yeah, because their AI has interesting decision-making processes. Let's get into some technical stuff. Again, trying to keep it surface level. Ooh, this level. I'm actually going to make sure I stop and explain this level. So I really like this level, since you got a missile power-up up here in the top right corner. There's a lot of different enemies, so there's just a whole lot of different ways to go about this level. You can go straight for the missile launcher and then kill these guys, and then kill a lot of the enemies down here by doing that, or you can lure this guy into destroying this wall and fight these enemies first. I'm gonna go with the first strategy because I think that's the easiest strategy. But it has a lot of solutions, and so I really tried to mimic that sort of level design principle for other levels. Gotta angle that shot so it kills all three, and then I fail to kill all three because it has been a long time since I played this game. If you die after you kill the last enemy, the game doesn't care. Oh, here's the machine gun enemies. They have the machine gun weapon you saw earlier, except now the enemy owns it. You can also get it. You don't really need it, but you know, might as well show it off because I'm trying to show off this game's mechanics and all. Can you tell I'm not very experienced with commentating these things? Now, here's a level where it's actually a good idea to pick up the machine gun because there's a lot of enemies and a lot of cover, so that the machine gun power-up, which is usually very dangerous to use, doesn't get in your way much. And here's a level with a lot of machine guns, which it's kind of tough. I don't have much to say on this level other than if I were to remake Metatanks 1, I probably would replace this level, but I'm probably not going to do much more work on this game, just going to... If I want more Metatanks, I'm making a new Metatanks game. So this is the second to last episode of episode 1. Not much to say it, and again, just a calm before the storm type level. And here's the first major boss, the Metatank. So, in its first phase it has 4 weak points for each of its 4 treads. And you have to destroy each of them to go to its second phase, where it goes into... It starts moving a bit more freely and its attack pattern changes some. And it has 2 more weak points, one on its front, one on its back. And that's it. If you beat those 2 phases, that's the boss. Also, while I'm here, I might as well explain these black circles. These are holes. Tanks can't go over them, but projectiles can. I probably should have mentioned that much earlier in the Let's Play, but I didn't, so let's go. I really hope this recording goes well, because I don't like having to re-record things. So the Metatank has a couple different attack patterns. In the second phase it also gets missed. That's this Metatank, by the way. You'll fight the Metatank in a couple more levels. That was my first legitimate death. Okay then. Also, these blocks, the brown ones, any projectile can break. Well, most projectiles can break them. These gray blocks, only explosions or the Metatank's treads can break them. The easiest way to do this phase is to get him stuck behind one of these holes so you can get a clear shot at his backside. And I'm not doing well. Commenting, it's hard. So yeah, I beat the boss. Surprise! No, I didn't. Yes, I do think I'm clever. So he explodes into a bunch of guys, one of which is the true boss, the one shooting a bunch of purple projectiles at me. This is actually kind of a terrible location. I'm gonna focus for a second. Oh yeah, before I focus though, the plasma projectiles, that's what these purple things are. They bounce off walls and they explode. They'll get their proper introduction later. Oh, and I accidentally killed the boss. Yeah, he's not too difficult. But there you go. So that was the first episode of Metatanks. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next episode of Metatanks whenever I make that.